The way you were. Cool. The way he dropped his phone.
Right, guys. Boom. Right, guys. It's Blackman the Traveller. This is another episode. I'm here with a very, very special guest, and she's going to introduce herself.
Hi, guys. My name's Meriam Messaoud. What do you want to know? Like, how do you want me to introduce
First
myself?
of all, how old are you?
21.
Alright, 21. Alright, what do you do?
Primarily, I'm a film director, screenwriter. I have a podcast, check it out, Conscious Conversations, YouTube, Spotify, all of that good stuff. I'm a model.
Okay.
I also box and I PT. What else do I do? I do things here and there, just
a
little
lot of
things.
things.
I do a lot of things.
So you're a director?
Yeah,
you're
primarily,
a model, You're a model? Mm-hmm. You got your own podcast? Mm-hmm. And what was the last one you said?
I box and I PT.
Boxing and PT.
Yeah.
Wow, for a 21-year-old.
For a 21-year-old.
That's a lot.
Yeah, man.
Where are you originally from?
Ethnicity-wise?
Yeah.
So I'm North African, Algeria to be precise, big up.
Big up Algeria.
Big up my people.
We had Mahrez.
Yeah, that took you a while to get there.
Yeah, I was like, am I going to pronounce it properly? Yeah, we had Mahrez.
Come on, big up. That's
Sami Nasseri as well, no? Was he from Algeria?
Yeah.
Algeria.
Look, I'm looking at you because I don't know. Zidane, legend.
Zizi.
Yeah, Zizi.
So, alright, so I'm gonna start off with what made you want to get involved. What? So you're doing 4 different platforms, yeah? Mm-hmm. So first of all, what made you want to get involved in film directing?
It's my why is kind of. Do you know what it is? I think from a young age, I always wanted to help people, and I want to have my own charity. I want to do a lot in this life, and where I was raised and how I was raised, and we didn't have much. So, and my people weren't really heard. We were people that were just kind of brushed under the rug. You wouldn't see people like me doing anything. You wouldn't really hear us having a voice or even having the opportunity to do that. Yeah. And I thought the best way to put out a message for people that they will remember it, they will watch it, they will rewatch it, like it will be there forever, is through a film. And all my work, all of my films that I produce, everything that I will produce is always going to be based on real life. It's going to be people's stories and just giving people the voice they never really had instead of me taking that voice and making it my own. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of...
Is it hard to direct films and to put people in their position, especially as a female,
I wouldn't say it's hard. I think... being a Muslim woman in the film industry is non-existent. Okay. So I've been on sets where I've had to, I'm directing the set and people would think I'm a runner or people would think I'm shadowing somebody or whatever. Yeah. And then, it'll get to that time when we start rolling, we have to shoot and you have to prep actors, actresses. And they'll look at me like, oh, rah, you're the director. And I'm like, yeah, I'm running this whole set right now. Yeah. But it's so not seen. I think I've had to try and earn my respect very, very quickly.
Would you say you had to earn your respect? Would you say that is because of your religion, or would you say because you was a female?
Both.
Okay.
I think the film industry is very saturated with white men. Yeah. Period. Okay. And even people of color, they do tend to be men. Yeah. As well as. So being a woman, first of all, it's always going to be a bit left in any position of power that I might be placed in. Yeah. But then being a Muslim woman on top of that, for them it's they would have never seen anything like that, let alone me. Imagine me, a whole Muslim woman, leading a crew of anything between 80 to 200 people on set that have no way to relate to me. Yeah. Do you get it? So for them it's just and on top of that, I'm probably the youngest person there.
Can I just say something?
Go on.
21.
Yeah.
Listen to me. You're 21. Mm-hmm. You're directing a film, or you're directing shows. Yeah. Second of all, you're a female and you're a young female and you're a Muslim girl. Mm-hmm. So that holds a stigma itself. Yeah. Especially in this society. Definitely. So that shows that you are special in a way because you're using your gender. And you're using your religion to say, look, no matter what religion I am, no matter what gender I am, I'm gonna make it.
Definitely.
And that just shows leadership. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know what? I think a lot of people as well, when they see someone like me, they almost see incapability. Yeah. And with me, I've never seen myself as a, like, I remember my mum telling me from a young age, like, you're not the same as these people, you know? They'll never accept you. Like, you're not them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, I never understood it until I got older because I've never, not necessarily felt different, but I've never seen myself as less than.
Why?
Because I'm still me. Regardless of if I'm a woman or if I'm a Muslim woman, if I wore a scarf, if I didn't wear a scarf, I'm still capable. I'm still somebody that would be in my field and doing what I'm doing because of my drive, because of my why, because my passion has nothing to do with anything external. It's all internal.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So regardless of whether I was black, white, North African, Asian, if I was Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, whatever, like, it wouldn't have changed where I'm at and what I'm doing. I'm still the same person. But me being a young, you know, Muslim woman in that industry, I think it's more powerful because I don't like to be the person to break the stereotypes I feel like that's so overrated. I feel like a lot of people want to be the first to do everything. I don't care for that. I just want to do things.
Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
Would you ever see certain people seeing you as a threat?
Definitely. All the time.
Why?
Because people don't... Birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
And I think because I'm always I stand out.
Yeah.
Automatically, if you're going to wear a scarf, you're going to stand out. Because you're automatically you look different, let alone like the mental processing of things, X, Y, and Z. And when you're in a room full of people that may have a prejudice towards what they think they know or just have pure ignorance. Like I said, every room I've been in, I've had to earn respect when really and truly, if I'm the director, you need to earn mine.
Has there been situations where you're the director and then you weren't directing a film physically and then certain people walked past you and they didn't assume that you was the director, not until you hopped on stage?
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my God, she's a director?
Yeah, I was... just before lockdown, I got asked to do an advert for like a brand or whatever, and the only people that knew that I was directing was a member from the brand that came on set to just like keep up and see everything. The producers had no idea, even though me and the producer would keep in contact, but because it was all over the phone, whatever. And I feel like because I'm very well spoken or whatever, I have a broken English as well, because I think people think that like Muslim women as well. I don't know where this came from either. Like, we just can't speak properly. I don't know where that stigma came from.
I've never heard of that, but that's okay.
It's
learning every day.
Do you know what? And you know where when I first recognised this, I remember I was booking an appointment for my dad in the GP. Yeah. And over the phone, you know, just the regular white lady. Yeah, how are you? Like, just chatting. Yeah. I pull up. She sees me. She's like... She's trying to put the voice and the face together, and she's like, Yeah. So it was kind of at that. I remember I was like, okay, guys, like, we need to start. Everyone's been setting up now. We've gotten the ambience. We need to start shooting. Get the models on X, Y, and Z. And everyone just looked. Nobody said anything because they knew ultimately I was still directing. But it was you can feel the change in the atmosphere. You can feel when people are like,
A lot of people, when people see. I would say anyone, you could be white, black, Asian, Caucasian. A lot of humans, we tend to, when they see someone else that's doing something that they're not doing, straight away you're a threat. You know what I mean?
I feel you, but I also think in any creative industry, if you know good people will help you.
100%.
And I think a lot of people aren't willing to help people that aren't theirs.
That's true.
And I faced it with not just the average white person. I was on a shoot and I was the only light-skinned girl there. Yeah. And nobody spoke to me until they found out, I'm actually directing the shoot. Yeah. And then it was a thing where you could feel they felt guilty. And then when you open up and I told them, I'm African, I'm this, and then they start relating and the familiarity becomes, but it's the initial, like, you're not like us.
I would say no one's born racist.
Definitely.
No, it's just everyone's brought up in a certain way. No one's born racist. Like you're gonna be brought up in a certain way, and I think that comes to lack of education. Yeah, we're educated in a way. So
I think it's also miseducation.
100%.
Like I've seen mums with their young kids. Yeah. Like me and my mum will be walking down the street. My mum doesn't even wear scarf properly. Like I wear it more than she wears it. Do you get it? She'll just be in a trackie. She'll just wrap her hair up and keep it moving. But like I've been on the street and me and my mum will be walking and like we'll see people like their kids will just be around us and they'll come and tug their kids and say something under their breath. Your kid is 3-4 years old and this is what you're teaching them out in the streets.
It's sad to say that's the society that we live in.
It's taught as well as it not being taught at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, man.
So you directed many shows and films. So what made you... Okay, first of all, what was your goals when you was a child? Like, what did you dream of doing?
So initially, I wanted to do music.
Okay.
Cause,
you sing?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I used to do music.
She's going to sing behind cameras, guys. Yeah, don't worry.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
But I used to do a lot of music. But I think when I was younger, I wanted to go into politics.
Why?
Because the people that know me from back in the day will tell you, like, I'm a little activist. Like, I've always done a little protesting here and there. I've always just been very vocal about things. I'm a very simple-minded person. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong.
You live in politics?
In terms of?
Do you believe politicians then?
No. I believe politics is a game to control the masses. I believe it's needed, but I think it's just done very backwards.
Needed in how? In what way?
I think it's needed for society to function because it's been around for so long that if we just removed it, I think nobody would just know what to do with themselves.
So basically, authority, rules and regulations, how to control the mass people.
It's a system.
Okay.
Literally. And with me, I think it's a thing where I don't like other people controlling my life. I don't like other people having any power over what I can do.
But you was gonna be a politician, so you
so
would have the power to control other people.
So this is my thing. So I remember looking into it and thinking, nah, like, how are these people running the land that I'm on? Do you know how mad that is? And these people don't even, like, they wouldn't even give 2 fucks about me. Really and truly. I don't know if I can swear on this podcast,
Okay.
But they don't care. They don't care about people like me. Like, so why am I allowing someone that has no compassion, no nothing for somebody like me? Like, especially back in the day, you're 3, 4, 5, anything between pre-teens to teenagers, like, you experience. Any ethnic minority will go through something like that. And I thought, nah, like, because I've always been that person that will stand up. I was very willing to be that person to stand up, whether it be on that scale or not. And then obviously
to speak out.
100%. And I got a bit older. I just thought, like, this politics stuff,
It's not for you.
Do you know what it is? You realise you can't control everything. And you realise that not everything is in your power, whether it directly affects you or not. And that's just, like I said, it's been around forever. So it's something that's so deep rooted. Who am I to come and tackle that? I just want to live in my little bubble, make sure my family's good and keep it moving.
So politics didn't work out well. Then the first thing was directing, yeah?
Yeah, film.
That's how I was wrong.
Yeah.
So is there any certain projects that you're working on at the moment?
At the moment, I'm working on a short film that hopefully should be in film festivals next year, inshallah,
Inshallah, that
if
will
all goes well.
Film festivals is actually good because that's for, you know what, I used to actually study acting.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to the same drama school as John Biega.
Very cool.
Letitia Wright.
Yeah.
And is it Idris Thompson? That's in Moonlight in America. He's killing it right now.
Yeah.
So I went to Identity and a lot of actors that went to ID, they participated in the film festival, but they were involved in the films that were going to be, pursued in that field. And it's actually good for you to direct something and to be put in film festival. It shows that you're special. Yeah. And those films are mostly like independent, unless I'm wrong, right?
Definitely, yeah. All of my films are independent.
That's a very interesting thing.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't celebrate the little things. 100%. Any little thing I do, I just get mad excited. I'm like, oh my God, I made it. Because not just in my community, but within my family, everyone is in an academic field, whether it be the Englishes, the sciences. Nobody's done anything creative ever except for me. I'll
lie to you, you're the first Muslim girl that I know is directing a film or that's directing a show.
Interesting.
I've never met. Not being rude. I'm not discriminating anyone. But that's just, you know that saying in life, like you're always learning something new. In this podcast, I'm learning something new. And I really appreciate what you're doing.
Of course.
So then, okay, so you do directing. Now, what made you want to, like, what's the end goal with the directing?
The end goal is to allow people to educate themselves through my work.
Okay.
I don't want to be the person to change anybody's point of view. I don't want to make anyone do anything. Yeah. I want somebody to just watch my film and then have them have a self-realization within themselves, whether it be a part of their journey within their own lives, whether it be how they view certain groups or certain people, whether it just be a bit more understanding and leaving out the ignorance. Like, I just want people to take in what I do, and take from it. That's kind of the ultimate goal. I don't want to just put things out there purely for entertainment and that be it. Like, entertainment is good, making feel someone good. There's like it's very fulfilling. It's an emotional experience. But when you imagine, I think of something, and then I go through a journey enough for me to produce it in physical form, and then you watch it, and by you watching it, it triggers emotions within you.
Because I can relate to that.
Do you know how powerful that is?
Of course.
My thought has become an emotional experience for you. Yeah. Whether it be happy, sad, you're crying, you're laughing, regardless, that came from a thought. Yeah. For me, that's just like, it's just crazy. Like,
that's beautiful what you're doing, because you're directing something in the audiences, because like when I studied drama, we like the main goal was obviously to learn the script or whatever, but you had to convince the audience that this is real. Yeah. People need to understand, like, filming, directing, the audience has to be persuaded that this is real. And once you persuade the audience that it's real, then everything's gonna be run smoothly. Yeah.
So, one thing, I had rehearsals yesterday and I was speaking to my actresses from my film, and one thing I always tell people is the storyline doesn't carry the film. The characters carry the film. 100%. So if you fall into anything I do, I always tell the characters from this point onwards, anytime we communicate, you stay in character. Whether it be over the phone, whether it be a rehearsal, whether it be, because you need, that character is a real person. Do you understand? Like, it's really somebody's mum, it's really somebody's daughter, it's really somebody's cousin, brother, sister. Like, it shouldn't always be just fake. A lot of Hollywood, a lot of anything in the media, everybody knows is just there to be there more time.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Imagine Hollywood starts calling.
What
happens?
I don't know. I'm not there yet. I don't know if I want them to call, to be honest.
Hollywood sees your thing on film festival. Let's be honest, a lot of people watch film festival. Yeah. If people know, when it comes to the industry, like the filming industry, Hollywood calls you up and they be like, right, who's this girl? What does she do? And they say, right, we're going to give you a budget film to direct this. Would you take the opportunity or no?
It depends on the film. Because I feel like if Hollywood saw my portfolio, they would never call.
How do you know?
Because I'm a threat. Because the things I produce, people need to understand, Hollywood has a filtered system. Of course. Anything, whether it's TV, media, not just Hollywood, but anything in that industry, things have to be approved, things have to be filtered out, things have to be stamped up, whether it's going into cinema.
That's when it comes to, because Hollywood, I mean, I don't know Hollywood like that because I'm not in that field, but one thing I know about Hollywood is when they see an opportunist that's breaking through the industry, they will somehow try to network with that person. Because it will benefit them more than it's going to benefit that person, if that makes sense.
This is the thing. So it will start off like that. They'll see the opportunity, they'll see money. Someone that's naive, like, maybe they'll give them 1-2 storylines that they know obviously aligns with what they do. They'll get them in, and then they'll start controlling what they want to put out. I never want that.
So you want the equity and ownership?
100%. And it's not even, my stories are really real. Like, even with my podcasts, if I wanted big names on my podcast, I can put big names on my podcast. I'm very well connected, but I want everyday regular people. Like,
why did you start a podcast? What's the whole concept of your podcast?
For a very similar reason, just on a what's it called? I feel like films are, despite the story, they're still very out of reach. You watch the film, you continue with your life. A podcast is very easy access. It's very familiar. It's very just open. Anyone can listen to it. Anyone can learn from it. And it's not anything that has to go through a process.
Yeah.
My podcast is very much for anyone and anything.
I like the name of it. Conscious Conversations.
Yeah, Conscious Conversations came about because I was speaking to a friend of mine, and we had a conversation, and I said to him, I was like, I said to him a year ago, I was like, from this point onwards, I don't want to speak without a purpose.
Okay.
So anything.
Oh, that's powerful.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak without a purpose.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people nowadays, whether it be my generation, the older generation, I just think people are just speaking to speak. Yeah. And it's a good thing that everyone has a voice, but sometimes people don't. Sometimes people are just speaking to speak, and I don't like that. Yeah. I think it's another way to tap into the mind, and conditioning is very, very easy. Indoctrination is very, very easy. And because I'm somebody that constantly stays learning, like I love to learn, I said I'm going to make a decision to not speak without purpose. And that's kind of how I carry myself now, and how the podcast kind of came about. It's just I want to create a platform for people like me. I want to allow people from ethnic minority backgrounds, whether you're Muslim, Christian, whatever. Like, we don't have, people think that, okay, cool, like, you might have 1-2 people of ethnic minority, and they're putting them on BBC, and they're putting them on this. Like, really and truly, 14% of the UK is ethnic. 14. Like, we're not even a speck of this whole UK, but they'll lump faces on the TV screens and put them on to condition you to think, yeah, we're giving people like you like a spot. Like, what else do you want? But you're not, because
that's why I started to cut you off. Like, when I saw your podcast, you had one sister on there as well. Mm-hmm. You had, on your last episode, you had a guy that was a teacher. This I was wrong. He was a motivational speaker. But so
teacher. He's gonna get onto me for that.
That's all right. But when I saw your podcast, I was like, you're open-minded, because you got different people, all walks of life on your podcast, and it shows you're willing to give back, and you're putting people all like from different like walks of life on your podcast that've got a story to tell. So that shows that like your podcast is actually interesting to watch and actually to listen to. Yeah,
I think a lot of people from African households have something that was infused in them as a child. Like, giving back is a big thing. Yeah. Whether it be to the community you were raised in, whether it be to your family, whether it be back home and going back home and building, or putting money back and investing. Giving back is by force. Yeah. It becomes a trait within your personality.
Sorry to cut you off. Like, when I was young, like, I'm pretty sure everyone in this room, like, we've been back home. So-and-so's coming. All the relatives are there. Money. You're buying presents. But you
start cleaning 3 days before.
That's just the way we were. That's just the way that we were raised, and the way our parents were raised, and it's morals and respect. So, but what we do now, like, we are giving back to the community, not in a materialistic way, but we're giving back. That we're opening doors.
Exactly.
And what you're doing, you're opening doors, like, because you're like, look, I've got a story to tell. You're born and raised over here. You've directed many shows. You got a very big project coming on a film festival. For someone to come from East London to do that, one, that's a female, second, that's Muslim. I'm sorry, I've never seen that. Yeah. So that's raw, that's authentic. Yeah. And then you got a podcast as well. So you've got 2 doors that you're opening for people to come, and you're re-educating people. You know what I mean? Now, so with this podcast, would you want to do it long term?
Yes. I think with me as well, my faith plays a big part in everything that I do. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said the best gift you can give your child is education.
I agree.
Do you get it? And I think with me, educating people is by force. And it doesn't mean that I have to come and sit you down and be like, right, you can't think like this, you have to think like this. It just means I'm going to speak, and if you take from it, if you learn from it, then cool. And I'm going to bring someone on that might, come with a different perspective and challenge me. Yeah. Because I remember speaking to a friend of mine, and I said, I want to put up a disclaimer to say that all of my episodes are a learning opportunity for me and you. People that I bring on, I learn from. Do you get it?
You're feeding off the energy.
Exactly. Yeah. It's reciprocation, and that's just always kind of I'm an unconventional teacher.
Yeah.
That's what I like to call myself. I teach,
teacher.
but just through the non-traditional routes. Like,
Yeah.
and it's very interesting because my dad, his whole life, he wanted me to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And I remember the day I told him I want to go into film, he almost cried. But I said
Why?
to him, I'm
Why?
still teaching. Because our parents, right, even my mum till this day, she believes that without uni, you won't get a job.
You know what it is? You can't, sorry to cut you off, you can't blame them because my mum, and
course.
I'm pretty sure everyone's parents in this room,
Mm-hmm.
like, all of us are either born here or we migrated here.
Definitely, yeah.
But our parents, none of our parents were born here, let's be real. They migrated here.
Right.
So in their era, like during their like whatever years that they were going through, when they came over here, all they had was learn English, get a good education, get a degree, and your life is going to be perfect.
Even back home, my parents,
You know what I mean?
I'm the first in my family to go to uni.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And I was not even going to go to uni.
I've never been uni.
See, I wasn't going to go. I remember telling my dad, and he almost cried as well, because it's like, you're my first daughter, I came here, and you're not even going to uni. I was like, all right, cool, I'll go for you.
Yeah.
But that in itself is powerful, because I think a lot of first generation children, people, whatever, are very ungrateful, and it's not intentional.
Yeah.
I think people forget that, your parents were born and raised in a world that doesn't exist anymore. And the world that they were born and raised in wasn't even here. It was in a whole different, most likely in our communities, third world countries. So coming from something like that, escaping, coming here, leaving their family, their friends, their culture, their language, their faith, whatever it may be, and trying to start a life for themselves, to better themselves here, for us to grow up and be like, well, you don't understand me, I want to do this and that. You see how this Western world is just, I'm not here for it.
My mum and my dad always wanted me to do certain stuff, like be a lawyer, do this. But you know what it is? You can't blame them because that's the way they were educated.
And they were educated to believe that there are only certain jobs that will bring you money.
100%.
And I think with my dad, it was a thing where he couldn't understand how me going into a creative field would pay me enough for me to live.
But I'm pretty sure he's seen the benefits now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My parents are very like supportive. Like shout out to mumsy and dad. But they're like alhamdulillah, like my parents are very, very supportive. They're still a bit ignorant to things. I mean, like mum says it to me all the time, like we've never seen anyone do what you do, so we don't understand it.
Parents will always be parents.
But exactly. Like, and I think when you understand that your parents are human being, and you really, like, you leave the image of your parents or something amazing, like they're just regular human beings that had you and are trying to figure you out. Do you know what I mean? And once you have that image, it's easier to understand, and it just bonds your relationship just a bit more.
Why PTing?
PTing is
You do 3 different things now.
do you know what it is? I started.
That's very directing. You got a lot of time to be doing a lot of things.
I have a lot going on. What's it called? So I started boxing 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
And it was
That's a question.
Go on.
Can you beat me up?
How tall are you?
It's not about tall. I might be skinny, but
No. But if you have a height advantage, and
6'2".
are you light on your feet?
I'm quick on my feet.
Yeah, no. Because my advantage is speed, but I'm small, so I'm an inside fighter.
Okay.
But you're like, and it's not gonna work. But it's a thing where when I initially went into boxing, I went in for the mental discipline, because I was a bit all over the place when I was younger, in my younger days. And I just needed to find something to discipline me mentally. And my dad used to watch a lot of boxing growing up. Like Muhammad Ali was plastered all over my household. So yeah, so that was kind of my entry point, and then I got to a level where I could have gone amateur, but I chose not to, and instead I chose to just teach other women and I think women, it's very important for women to be able to defend herself.
I agree.
Especially in this London town, especially in this Western world.
I think especially in this world in general, because males are doing a lot of stupidity things right now. There's a lot of females that are getting, I would say, harassed.
Especially women from ethnic minorities, whether it be Black women, whether it be Muslim women, like me, I've seen so much. Like, I've had stuff happen to me. I've had stuff happen to my family.
Sorry about that.
It's like, and for me, it's not even. It's just the life that we have. Do you know what I mean? And you know, being angry about it and going off the rails, and you know, maybe like I used to have a baseball bat in my household just in case if anything happened, I'll just be up and ready to go. But that's not the answer. Like with my little sister, by force you do some sort of martial arts. Same with my little brother, to be honest with you.
Have you done karate before?
I haven't, but I've dabbled into like jiu-jitsu, what's it? Oh my God, what is it?
Muay Thai.
No. Kickboxing.
Okay.
That's, don't know why that was so hard for me to remember. But I'm a boxer, like that's kind of just me. Like, I like that.
If I didn't know you, I wouldn't
have thought that.
Nah.
I
Now
love
know
it.
I'm gonna be careful.
No, don't let it change you. Like, self-defense is important, period. Not every day carry something to try and defend yourself. Like, my mum used to have a rolling pin in her bag.
Wow.
So if anything was to happen, she would chuck the bag and run. Because my mum doesn't know, she thinks she's going to hit you. Like, she doesn't know what you're going to pull out. Like, my mum always thinks, but what if he pulls out a knife, then what? Yeah. So it's a thing where it's just educate your sons, but, you know, some people, you can't tell them to educate anybody. And, you know, your daughters, just prepare them. And I know it's a deeper, sadder way of looking at life, but that's the world we live in. So instead of dwelling on it, just prepare.
We live in a crazy world, but
yeah, man,
you're trying to do better. Would there be any motivation words for the people that's watching this video right now? Like, what would you say?
Don't let your differences ever make you feel inferior. Just be you. Whatever you want to do, just do it. Don't procrastinate. Don't let anyone say anything to you. If I had £1 for how many people that have said to me, you're never going to be able to do this, you can't do this, you think you can do you know how I would be rich? Don't let anyone stop you. Just be you and be very true to yourself. Like, don't I think with me for a long time I was embarrassed of my faith because it was such a problem for people. Fuck that. Yeah. If you're Muslim, if you're Christian, if you're Jewish, if you're whatever you are, wear it with chest. Claim who you are with chest. You're not out here worshipping a human being. You're here for God. You're not here for nobody else. And if God's got you, then who are you afraid of? Do you know what I mean? So just do your thing. Just be you and be successful. Whether it be money wise, whether it be within your knowledge and your family, however you measure your success, just do it. And that would be my little 2 pence on this. That
was inspiring. For the viewers, can you please let them know where they can find you on social media platforms?
Yes, Meriam Messaoud on YouTube. You can find Conscious Conversations on that channel. My Instagram is official Meriam. That's my personal. My podcast Instagram is c.conversation podcast on Instagram. My Twitter is its_Meriam, and you know, from there I'm sure you'll find the rest. But yeah, it's been
Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
I'm gonna mention it again. I've probably said it a couple of times. 21 years old.
I knew it.
Director of the film festival. May God bless you.
Amen.
May he give you the opportunity that you deserve.
Amen.
And maybe you can direct a film about my journeys hitchhiking around the world. You never know.
I can do a little documentary if you like. I'll just do film, you know, I could do it all.
I really appreciate it. But you know, deep down, what you're doing is inspiring.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing. And thank you for actually coming on here and actually telling people your story.
You're welcome, guy. Anytime.
Really appreciate it. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed this blog. Please be honest on the comment section. Comment, like, and subscribe. It's Man Like Blackman. Bow.